Here. Welcome to BOMISpirit. This is going to be the weekly intuitive astrology reading. So I hope you guys doing amazing. So I was supposed to do this yesterday because, yesterday was Monday. And as you know, yesterday was a very interesting day speaking to the astrology. And I didn't have the energy reserves. I didn't. So I just honored that and I just didn't do it. So I am here today to do it. But hi, welcome guys. I do want to wait a couple minutes before diving in. For those who are new, welcome. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, all that stuff. The way this works is I go over the overview of just the week, things that I've been picking up intuitively, but also due to the astrology as well. And then I will go into more of a deep dive on the astrology, and then we'll pull cards for a collective reading and also channeled messages there. Okay. All right. So just to let you know how it works, I'm going to get my timestamp list ready. Hold on here. But just hang out for a minute, get settled, get a snacky poo, a drinky poo, all those things. We're in for a good week. We're in for a good week. I mean, good is, subjective. But this is a week that I think a lot of us have been waiting for. This week, oh my God, I can't speak, sorry. This last week definitely was one of those, and this week is last week turned up. Say it that way. Yeah, this week is last week turned up. Okay. Also, while everybody's kind of climbing in here and getting settled, just want to let you guys know we do have the full moon in Capricorn coming up at the very end of the week. So I will be doing the live for that on Patreon on Friday. I haven't scheduled it yet, but I have it on my planner. I just haven't scheduled it here yet. But that's when I intend to do it. So just anybody who is wanting to be in on that. The money tree looks so healthy. Thank you. I talked to her and I was talking to her and I'm like, I feel like I should move you. So, and then when I moved her, I was like, oh, this feels a little, I don't know, something about the background feels nicer like that. Yeah, definitely don't forget to like the video, guys. Let's see. Oh, we got a birthday in here. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. We've got Cancerian birthdays going on right now. First time catching a live. Hi. Let's see. In 6 years, really? Oh, I'm glad you made it. Yeah, don't forget to make sure that your notifications are on if you guys don't want to miss any lives or anything like that. I know that the algorithm over the last few years has become a little funky in terms of that, but it does help if you don't want to miss out on anything. Okay. All right. So that being said, we're about 3 minutes in, so let's just get into the overview. It was really interesting because I did all my notes and then I sat to get grounded and all the things before starting. And for this week, something that they were really honing in on was wisdom and power. And I was like, oh, it makes so much sense. Just kind of shut my eyes for a minute so I could just speak to that because I love the chat, but sometimes the chat really distracts me. So just to stay in it with power and wisdom. Okay. Wisdom is made up of a lot of things, depending on how you look at it, but just for the purposes of discussion, right? It's like wisdom is an accumulation of knowledge that we know how to put into practice. Because there are a lot of times when we have knowledge, but we haven't made that transition into actually utilizing it or knowing how to act from that particular set of knowledge. And knowledge can come from direct learning or from other people or life experience. The wisdom gained from the past life experiences of all of us are really important this week. And you can look at this week as turning our past experiences, the knowledge of what we have experienced, into wisdom itself. I'm also seeing it more so as realizing the gifts of our past experiences, whether they're painful or not. And I think most of what we are going to be learning to embody or act from or even make peace with is more of the painful past experiences. But that's not the biggest part of the week, but that is definitely prominent. And this is a week where it really is so much about propelling into future, but almost from this place of, utilizing our past in order to do that in interesting ways. And we'll get into that. But power. Power is big this week for many reasons. Lilith activity, Pluto activity, the full moon being in Capricorn, that 29-degree point, also part of that too. There's a lot of power stuff kind of going on, right? But something that they wanted to relay through me is when we're speaking of power, we can be in our seat of self, which is just being in our own personal power. It's just being in the seat of self authentically and not being afraid to act from that place, right? Some people might look at that as acting from more of our shadow side. It's not always about that, right? But like, just know that power is not something that's forceful. That's a distorted perception that we've adopted in our society around power, that power somehow equals force, but it doesn't. We can sit in our seat of self, sit in our seat of personal empowerment and flow and not force. That's something they're really emphasizing. I even had to write it down here. To flow with it, not force with it, not forcing it on other people externally, but knowing how to sit within yourself to navigate self, right? That's flowing with power. And even if that also comes in with needing to set boundaries or limitations, you can do that without being forceful and abrasive. There's nothing wrong with being forceful and abrasive. I also want to make that clear. There's nothing like wrong with it when the moment calls for it. But if you're doing it to exert your power, that's a false way of feeling empowered, because that's not true empowerment. True empowerment comes from within. It's not how we control other people, right? But with the other side of power this week, control is also a thing. Now, Mars Uranus conjunction with Algol yesterday really ties into that. But before I get into the astrology, I want to just make sure that I want to cover other things, because I'm just like eager to talk about the astrology. Hold on, is there anything else I need to mention about power and wisdom? They're just saying the word authenticity over and over and over. We kind of covered that. They just want me to like say that word one more time. So authenticity. Sometimes when we hear a word enough, like repeatedly, like it'll penetrate. But coming into more of the overview of the week beyond this whole notion of wisdom and power, we got some cool stuff. A lot of perceptions of fate this week, luck and optimism and confidence this week. Some of you may already be feeling it, some of you not so much. I kind of like so eager to talk about this conjunction we experienced yesterday. We're still under that influence, but I can feel maybe I'm also feeling you guys wanting me to talk about it, because I can feel such a strong impulse to talk about it. But coming back, perceptions of fate, destiny, and luck and optimism and confidence this week. It's only going to be helpful. It's only going to be yummy and juicy. A lot of us may experience that in terms of relationships and definitely romance and love and all that good stuff, but finances as well, creative inspiration and expression, personal passions, all that good stuff. So that's only something to look forward to. There's a huge theme this week about the past, okay? And I will get deep into it, but just know that if you've been nostalgic, or if there's been some like old unresolved stuff that you thought you dealt with and it just keeps coming up, this is a week to help to, excuse me, let me retract that word, to utilize that in the present to catapult into the future. And we'll get into that, okay? It doesn't have to be heavy. It doesn't have to be dark. It doesn't have to be a struggle. It could even be inspiring and exciting, especially if it's like recovering a lost dream or a lost wish or of the sort. What else? High probability of being seen for our unique skills and self due to our past and how we are shifting our relationship with our past. And again, I'm going to talk about that. And obviously too, especially with that conjunction from yesterday, amongst other things happening this week, there's a serious drive to cause change, okay? I think that's great. I think that's very beneficial, especially with the full moon in Capricorn. That's really emphasizing that too. As far as it being bad or good or too risky or just the right time to take a risk, that's really up to your own belief, to be honest with you. It's up to your own belief. Personally, the way I'm looking at this week and this full moon in particular, it is definitely going to be a great week to take some risks, more so the following week after we pass like the precipice of the full moon Capricorn. But there's no denying that there's a lot of restless energy to break ourselves out of prisons we've made for ourselves, or break the rules, or break out of limitations. And yes, the past also does tie into that. It is also manifesting differently for different people too. So for some people, it's a timing thing. So there are some people in the collective, they just gave me like 3 different groups. Well, hold on a second. There's definitely a group of the collective where there's more of an intuitive flow with the changes, of feeling when the exact right moment is to make an exact move or change. Okay. And restless energy, lol. Yeah, there is. There's definitely some restless energy kind of lurking around. And then especially we have Mars moving into Gemini. I'm almost there, but let me talk about this really quickly. So I'm feeling one group there, and I'm also feeling a group where it's just like it's now and we're moving and we're grooving and we're not stopping, like very, very fast movement. Like, hold on, this like third group. I feel like there's a group of you that's just kind of really trapped in a loop of fear. Yeah, like really trapped in a loop of fear. We'll get into it, but that's just I'm just feeling that third group. I'm just feeling that third group. So that is what I would have to say about this week. Now, moving into some important dates, and then we'll get into more of a bigger breakdown. Hold on a second. Let me actually make a little thing for dates. Dates. Okay. So, as I said yesterday, July 15th, we had Mars conjunct Uranus, which were also conjunct the fixed star Algol. I'll talk about that. Because again, we're still under it. Even though it's technically the peak was yesterday, we're still under that influence. And then today, the 16th, Mercury has officially entered the pre-shadow for Mercury retrograde. It'll be retrograding between Virgo and Leo, but this is the pre-shadow phase, so it's at Leo 21 degrees. It goes officially retrograde on the 4th or 5th, depending on where you are in the world, and will go stationary direct on the 28th of August, and the post-shadow ends September 11th. I will probably be posting astrology talk videos about Mercury retrograde here and on Patreon, okay? Just to give you guys a heads up. July 20th, Mars is into Gemini. So I was speaking to restless energy earlier. Mars in Gemini can be fun. Again, depends on your perspective. Mars in Gemini likes to endlessly discover. We start to suddenly feel excited about new things and new experiences, and just wanting to discover self, or learn more about certain topics, or travel, or learn more about people. It's a very like insatiable curiosity with Mars being in Gemini. Now, obviously, depending on your chart and where that is in your houses, that could feel really good, or that could feel a little crazy making. Mars in Gemini is a very restless placement. I can speak from personal experience. That is, my Mars is in Gemini. Yeah. Makes you want to start a lot of things, not necessarily finish a lot of things. But it can be fun. It can be fun. It can be playful. It can be very like flirty, and conversations can really flow at that time. So again, just depends on your perspective. But if you are trying to stay focused on things for the next, where are we, July? Like 6 weeks or so. If you're trying to stay focused, this can be a little bit of a tough placement, but just letting you know that that shift is coming in soon, okay? And then, of course, like I mentioned, on the 21st, we have that full moon in Capricorn. So what makes this full moon very interesting, it's the second full moon Capricorn, which I personally believe, first of all, every year we have 2 full moons that end up in the same sign back to back. I typically feel that they are bringing in an interesting lesson of sorts for the year, but that's a whole other conversation. But what's interesting about this second full moon Capricorn is it is tightly conjunct Pluto. It's also trine Mars very closely, and it's also trine Uranus. It's also working with Lilith, and it's also very tightly sextile Neptune. So the full moon is very, very active for this particular moon cycle, and so it's just bringing in some interesting stuff because it's so active, and particularly with these like very malefic or change agent planets, right? Like Pluto, Uranus, Mars. They don't fuck around, and neither does Capricorn. So like I said, it is definitely a time of making some interesting moves and changes, but also know that no matter what changes you're making voluntarily, there will be unexpected changes and maybe even some unexpected consequences. It doesn't have to be negative or bad. It could be exciting and thrilling, right? So it just depends on where you're at. But that is what I have to say about the dates. Now let's get into more specific astrology, okay? Okay. So this first cluster, we're going to touch on Mars-Uranus conjunction. So I know that there are probably some astrologers speaking about this conjunction in like a destructive way. You guys know me. When it comes to astrology, it is an art more than anything. It's also a science, but it's an art form more than anything. And There's so many ways these energies can manifest or be utilized, and especially when it comes down to the individual experience, how transits affect everyone's chart differently, because it's also rooted in free will, right? But having Mars conjunct Uranus is not innately bad in and of itself. They both are about change. Mars is more about like how we take initiative or action, which action is really just another word for change. Because if you're taking an action, you're changing something, even if it's just your position on something or a state of something, right? Hold on a second. Someone asked a question. Is an algol a money star too? I haven't heard of it being a money star. I mean, it does obviously work with Taurus energy. I anything can connect to money in your individual chart depending on what it's aspecting, right? But with it being in Taurus, it's not innately tied to money. I know we associate Taurus with money, but Taurus is also about a lot of other things besides money. I know it's the go-to, but so I'm going to get to Algol in a second. I'll circle back, but let's talk about Mars and Uranus first. So Mars is how we want to take action, what motivates us to take initiative on things or to make change, right? That's Mars. It also is directly tied to our own behavior. But Uranus is a change agent. Uranus likes to shake things up. Uranus likes to cause change. Uranus likes to crack things open or even break things. But it is in a way to revolutionize, right? Or for the sake of innovative creativity. So it's like, it's not innately bad. So when those two start working together, there's just this bigger drive and motivation and intention of, I really need to break something and change something for the better, for the betterment of self or for others. But it is literally the taking action to break limitations, to break anything that's creating mundane situations or stagnancy, rules, if you will. A lot of people can look at Mars conjunct Uranus and go, oh, that means war. Doesn't have to. It doesn't have to. It really can work in a really positive way. It just depends, right? And wherever you have Taurus in your houses, right, it's also going to depend on how that manifests for you. Like for some of you, especially if it's more like in your 8th house or 12th, 11th house, that's going to be way more of an internal experience of an internal breaking or cracking open, or even like breaking away from something emotionally or detaching from something emotionally. Taurus also rules values, right? So even your own value system could be changing drastically at this time, right? So I just want to just really emphasize, when it comes to astrology, signs and celestial bodies, they have a wide spectrum of meanings and associations, but this is also what makes astrology fun. Makes it also why astrology can be difficult for a lot of people to use to like for divination purposes, but also what makes it so fun. It's a one big giant puzzle, right? Anyway, as my inner child gets all excited. But the values and belief systems, I think, are going to be really huge for a lot of people. Obviously, again, chart dependent, but that's what I was feeling. And then the Algol components. Let's talk about Algol. So Algol is the fixed star. It's often referred to as the most evil star in the sky. Here's the other thing about astrology. Fixed stars, a lot of the meanings around fixed stars are very polarizing. And most of them are considered negative, actually. Most fixed stars are looked at as nefarious in some way. Very, very few are considered positive. But these are just meanings and that have been determined from, from humans over time and from very long ago too. And I do think that we could benefit from just updating these meanings on fixed stars and even just allowing the spectrum of energy to take place and not just have such polarizing bad good associations here. But Algol is associated with the story of Medusa. If you don't know that story, it's a messed up story, and this ain't the place to talk about it because there's a whole lot of themes in that story that is a no-no to talk about on YouTube, actually. So we'll just chop it up to that story involves a lot of unjustified violence, especially towards women, and a lot of unjustified punishment, especially towards women, by women also, on that note. But coming back to Algol, Algol is associated with violent decapitation and violent death because of the story it is associated with, Medusa, right? So that's why it is considered one of the most evil star in the skies, because if you have that highly aspected in your chart, that's just what a lot of astrologers would take away from it, is you probably would have a higher likelihood of an encounter of a violent death or an unjustified death, or issues, or literally experiences of and or around decapitation, which I know is insane. But there is like one little sliver of a consensus that is positive around algol, and it is this experience of being very highly spiritually attuned, but only if you've been putting in a lot of effort and work. That's also associated with algol. So with algol coming in here, and this is just what I received as a channeling when I realized, like, oh shit, that's right, algol's gonna be conjunct Mars and Uranus on the 15th. And what I was given was, it's more about slaying our inner demons, like cutting off the heads of our inner demons, cutting the cycle off, right? Cutting off the cycles of injustice and honestly, like boogeyman. I was getting a bit of a past energy, and then when I looked at the astrology of this week and the past is so emphasized, I was like, oh my god, it makes so much sense. So that's how I am looking at it. With Mars conjunct Uranus conjunct algol, it is much more about gaining that confidence to cut off the heads of your own demons and to finally put to rest your grudges, or how you were victimized, or how you experienced trauma or violence, or injustice, essentially, particularly around femininity. But that's how I am taking it. It's not an absolute, and I think most astrologers would disagree with me, but that is my take on it. Now, again, that peaked yesterday, but that's going to be with us for the next couple days. So we're still under that influence. So whether you're experiencing this internally, or you're experiencing this in a way where you feel like, oh, you know what, I can go out and finally allow myself to go and get the job that I really want to have, or I don't know, live a sober life when you've been struggling with addictions, or things like that, or maybe going and confronting somebody that maybe you still have a lot of grudges with, and it's like finally just cutting off those tethers and cords and just being done, right? So that's just an example. But this conjunction for this week, so moving beyond Mars, Uranus, algol stuff, so this conjunction is also sextile the sun in Cancer this week, which I think is only positive, because it's bringing in this deeper desire for emotional harmony and for emotional stability and for healing purposes as well, which is only great. Some of you may experience this as a wanting to protect family, wanting to protect loved ones. I'm also getting a little bit of inner child energy, which makes sense because Cancer being the mother, can't be a mother without a child, right? Just tied into that energetically. So I'm feeling a little bit of that too, but this is only positive. Now here's what's interesting. So we have the sun in Cancer sextile Mars, Uranus, algol conjunction. So we got Taurus over here, we got Cancer over here, right? They're both aspecting Neptune. This also ties into full moon energy, so just so you know. They're both aspecting Neptune. The Neptune component brings in the past. When I first wrote Neptune down, instantly it was nostalgia. It was like instant. It like hit me instantly, and I was like, whoa. I was like, okay, okay. Nostalgia, but also, how do I want to say this? I got the word heart-based, but then it was very like daydreamy, like notions. So like, I'm just gonna say like ideas and notions of the heart's desire, the stirring of the heart. That stuff combined with nostalgia is also helping us to cut the heads off these demons, so to speak. And also to make changes where we want to make change, where we've had difficulty making changes. And they're also now they're showing me like a hermit crab, and like it's like all these different crustaceans tend to like get out of shells and get bigger shells. There's also something about that's tying in there. There's a exposure of vulnerability, and that I think also ties into some energies that are involved in this week that I was going to talk about anyway. But also this feels like an upgrade too. Like upgrading things in your life, whether that's literally material things, or maybe even like upgrading aesthetics in the body. So Taurus ties into that. Taurus is also about self-esteem. Taurus is also about image, especially when it comes to like beautician and cosmetic things, or especially the face. Taurus is definitely especially about the face. So some of you may be experiencing it that way, but Neptune being here is also helping to recover, again, that sense of nostalgia in the past, as we are like cutting the heads off demons as well. There's also this ability to kind of reach into the past and remember things you forgot about as well, whether it's lost hopes and wishes and dreams and all that yummy good stuff, like childhood dreams, right? Or other things. You know, the actual inner demons, right? And like when they became part of you, or part of your journey, or part of your experience. And I am hearing the word subconscious. Neptune and Pisces is very much like, the realms too, right? So whether you're pulling out from the past really positive, beautiful things you've long forgotten about, or you're starting to recall the roots of some of your inner demons, this is a time to kind of reach in the past, also closing some doors along the way, right? Bringing that into your present, and seeing how that not only makes you you, but also how to utilize that for your own personal growth and for your future. Chiron and North Node also play into this too, and I'll get into it. But so some of you, it may be more of a healing, soul retrieval sort of an experience. Some of you, it's much more about just remembering beautiful daydreams of the past, right? Long forgotten desires, all those things. But no matter how it's coming through, just know that in the present, whatever you're looking at from your past, it is realizing the gift of it. Even if it's something painful and kind of ugly, it's also recognizing how it makes you you, but what wisdom it's gifted you that you can take on and move forward. And as you move forward with whatever that gift is of the past, letting the past go at the same time, not thinking about it, not letting it be a part of your identity in a way where it's keeping you from your future or even from living in the present. So I think you guys understand what I'm getting at there. But moving on, the sun being sextile Mars and Uranus and Algol also are working with Pluto. Also ties into the full moon energy. Pluto here is also kind of Pluto and Lilith are also aspecting the sun, Mars, and Uranus. Pluto and Lilith are trine, that Mars, Uranus, Taurus, Algol conjunction, but Pluto is opposing the sun. Lilith is not exactly working directly with the sun at this time. It will be working with the full moon though at the very end of the week. So just want to let you guys know that. But the Pluto Lilith component here really amps up that craving of power and control. And it doesn't have to be bad, right? Because remember what they were giving me in the beginning to relate to you guys, right? It's like you can flow with your own sense of personal power and set boundaries where need be and all those things. But sitting in yourself in your seat of power is an internal experience. It's not something you force on anyone. It's not something that it's not a show. It's not a display, right? There is no true sense of power in a display of power. You just kind of exist in it. You just kind of embody it. And even if you are needing to have exchanges with people where you are needing to sit in that place and draw a line here or there, or even just be very honest with people, cool, do it. But it's not a tyrannical control kind of a thing. So just know that that might be coming up with Pluto and Lilith. There's also going to be a lot of sexual energy this week. A lot. With Mars and Uranus together, that already does that, especially in Taurus. And then you have Pluto and Lilith in the mix. And we got Leo energy coming up and Venus. Again, we're going to get into it. A lot of sexual energy this week. So just be aware of that. But yeah, that's the first little cluster I wanted to talk about. Before getting into like ranges of the signs of how this is going to be affecting you, just to give you guys a little overview of the entirety of the week, Aries and Leo, prominent energies, okay? Same with Taurus, and then the Capricorn Cancer axis. The Aries Leo component, wherever you have that in your houses, or if you have personal planets in Aries or Leo, luck, fate, confidence, changes to how you express yourself, and changes to how you're even received and recognized, because it's coinciding with how you are changing your relationship with your past. Okay. And also Taurus, voluntary and involuntary changes, and also changes to your personal values are highly likely here, and also your relationship to the body. They said, don't forget the body, don't forget the body, don't forget the body. Obviously, these will manifest differently in your life depending on who you are, where you're at in your life, and your chart, okay? The Capricorn Cancer axis, so, because they're opposites on the wheel, right? So that axis point, those two houses for you, just know that it is about the balance of the emotional and the practical, because they're both driving a lot of things this week. But we also have the full moon in Capricorn, which would highlight that axis anyway, right? So you don't need to overly emphasize on it. I'm just letting you know that access point. There's going to be changes that show up in those houses because we are going through so much change, but it's more about finding your new balance of your emotional life and your practical material life. So it's just the balance is shifting. So just know that. Just know that. All right, so let's go ahead and get back into this. Now, all of the other things I just went over, like the sun working with Mars and Uranus, and the Neptune component, and the Pluto component, um, Cancer Capricorn axis will be affected by this, 25 to 29 degrees. I was hearing stage is the word that I heard. So, for how a lot of this could be affecting you, the nostalgia and the wanting to make change and kind of take control of your life, but also utilizing your past for your future purposes, right? Just know that this stage this will be happening on is in Cancer Capricorn. That's literally how they gave it to me. That's how they gave it to me. But again, kind of makes sense if our balance of those houses are shifting because of these other changes, right? And of course, Taurus, like I already mentioned, 25 to 29 degrees, the changes and the drive to make the changes, right? Now, there are other signs that are important here, but I would say those are the most prominent ones to pay attention to for this particular section I just spoke about. Okay? Okay, moving on. Fate and luck come a knocking. I don't know. This is what I'm excited about. Actually, I want to do another timestamp for this one. Hold on a second. Yeah, let's do. I talked about that one a lot. Okay. Fate and luck come a knocking. This one's like really short, sweet, and simple, and just kind of exciting. So Venus is in Leo this week and is sextile Jupiter in Gemini, while Venus is also trine the North Node. That's very fun. So while Venus is in the sextile to Jupiter, that's one of the most favorable aspects anybody can experience. So when it's happening as a transit, we all get to get a taste of it. It's just kind of fun. Jupiter is opening doors with Venus. So Jupiter, the planet of luck, the planet of gifts and benefits and reward and optimism and good living, right? That's opening the door in Venus. Relationships, creative expression, how you adorn your body and yourself, your relationship with beauty in and of itself, what you find beautiful. That can even be a source of gratitude. All those things. Also, finances are tied up in Venus. So think of it like that. We literally have a helping hand in all of those arenas. Now, especially with Venus being in Leo and Jupiter being in Gemini, this is really, really going to affect any kind of relationship that has a flirty component, that has a romantic component, that also has a creative component, or just where there's like arousal of excitement and passion and emotions. I'm also hearing in curiosity, right? So it's really, really nice. And even if you are like not dealing with anybody right now, it's also just really good for your sense of like how you're like you be like feeling yourself. It's an aspect where you really feel yourself, or also where again finances could be helped out at this time as well. But having that trine to the North Node, that also brings in that sense of fate, because the North Node is all about the future and what we're learning and where we're going and what we're stepping into, right? So all good things, all good things. Alongside with that, Jupiter is also sextile the North Node and is sextile Vesta, which is also in Leo, okay? And Venus will be conjunct Vesta by the end of the week. Vesta, for those guys who don't know, Vesta is a celestial body that I associate with blueprints, with our sense of personal calling, personal fulfillment, what is sacred to us, what we covet, what we cherish, what lights us up in the morning, what makes us feel happy to be alive. Like that's Vesta, right? So to have Vesta working with Jupiter and the North Node and Venus, it's golden. I just like that is the makings of really yummy life experiences that are also opening doors to the future and where things are just running really easy, and a lot of fun experiences with other people, a lot of inspired creativity and ideas as well coming through there. So again, it's only positive. There's really nothing bad to say about it, like at all. So I kind of mentioned this earlier, but Aries and Leo Excuse me, particularly 5 to 15 degrees, wherever those houses are for you, or whatever range of houses that falls for you, that is where you can expect to experience some of this yummy goodiness. And obviously, this is going to amp up sexual, sensual energy too, just so you know. Okay, but Gemini, we don't want to forget about Gemini, because Jupiter is also driving a lot of this too. Wherever you have Gemini, 5 to 15 degrees is probably where you're going to feel the best in relation to these three signs. Feel the best. I want to emphasize that. Feel the best. And that could actually be driving some of these other experiences you're experiencing in Leo and Aries. But the good feeling is mostly coming from the house of Gemini, whatever house that is for you. Okay. Okay. All right. Last little section. All right. This is more talking about the past, but this is more about the whole Chiron component of the past. So Neptune and Pisces is helping with nostalgia, right? Almost like the emotional stirrings of our past. While Mars, Uranus, and Algol is also helping us to kind of face what we want to cut away from, break away from, which are things that we have acquired from our past, right? And now here we are working with Chiron, where we hold our deepest wounds and insecurities, especially in terms of identity or the things that make us feel too insecure to take action and initiative, right? We've been working with this Chiron Aries energy for a long time. Chiron moves relatively slow compared to most of the celestial bodies we look at in astrology, but it's also been so emphasized because this is a very fire-based year. And what I mean by that is we have, the North Node being in Aries in that same sign, but we also have had all the Mercury retrogrades this year are in fire signs, so just like things like that. But let's get into this one. Oh, excuse me. This is going to help with how you shift the way you express yourself, even just creatively, aesthetically, and also will change how people actually see you and recognize you, dependent upon how you are shifting your relationship with your past. Okay? Mercury's in Leo this week, and all week is going to be trine Chiron in Aries, which Chiron is also still working with Eris in Aries. And since Chiron is also going to retrograde soon, it's going to move even slower. So it's going to be with Eris for a long time. It's going to be with Eris for quite a while this year, all right? Now, something else that's kind of interesting, I haven't talked about the White Rabbit in a bit, but Mercury is also conjunct the White Rabbit asteroid this week as well, also sitting in Leo. And also Chiron and Eris are trine the White Rabbit because they're also close in degrees. So you have Leo and Aries energy just all over the place this week. Also why those two signs in particular, like I mentioned in the beginning, are so emphasized as far as looking to see where things could be, active for you in your life this week. Now, for those who are not familiar with the White Rabbit asteroid, I've been associating it with portals. And then today, as I sat more with it, I heard the word curiosity. And I don't know if that's also because we have some of that Gemini energy already present, and maybe that part of the White Rabbit asteroid is being a little bit amplified from that Gemini-ness. But I did hear curiosity and also not delayed changes. It's like, that's not the right word. It's almost like when you interact with the White Rabbit asteroid or you engage in aspects that include the White Rabbit asteroid, it sets up changes to come later, like prominent changes, like changes that feel like twists of fate or like falling down the rabbit hole kind of changes. Also why I associate White Rabbit with like opening portals or jumping into different timelines or timeline shifting and things of that nature. It's a really, really interesting asteroid, actually. The White Rabbit, I'm also getting a bit of like a party in their energy. I am. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of like like kind of Venus-y, actually, kind of like intoxicated. Oh, interesting. And like getting, oh my God, like almost like a drunk kind of feeling. Oh, this is really interesting. Okay. Let me recollect myself. So Mercury working in this trine with Chiron and Eris while it's working with the White Rabbit asteroid, right? White Rabbit working with Mercury, again, the way we express ourselves is changing. The way we even create is changing. The way we dress could be changing at this time, and then hence the way we're being seen is being changed. But that is amplified by Chiron. Your personal life experiences that have brought you to where you are going to be coming up to the surface this week if they haven't already, and not necessarily in a bad way, right? It could actually, again, be very like thrilling and exciting, like reclaiming a lost dream. I want to be very clear about that, right? But it could also be very triggering, especially more in these first couple days of the week, because the sun, in the beginning of the week only, the sun is square Chiron and Eris, and Mercury is actually square Pallas Athena. So there, it can almost feel like maybe a little bit of discomfort of remembering the past or nostalgic memories, and like, why am I thinking about this? Why do I want to talk about this? Why is this on my mind? Why am I being shown this? But it's coming to the surface, and then it almost mellows out as the week continues. Like, you start to see the gift of your past, or you start to see the gift of what was, even if it was not so great, even if it was a bit of a struggle, right? And then as you bring that into the present, you make peace with it. You make peace with it, and you also allow yourself to let it go, but you take with you the wisdom of those experiences, right? So I just want to make that very clear in terms of that. But the white rabbit component, what is this like drunk feeling? It almost feels a little wild. Some people may get a little wild in this Leo energy this week. Maybe even being drunk on themselves, like drunk off of their own passion, drunk off of their own confidence. That's very interesting. That definitely is not most people, but I can feel it. I can feel it. Maybe it's going to affect people of like Venus, Leo, maybe, or people have like a lot of fire placements. I don't know. It's very interesting. So just know that's not everybody. And because we still have some Lilith activity, because Pluto is also still trine Lilith and Neptune is also still opposing Lilith, just watch the ego, okay? Especially as we get deep into this Leo energy, just watch the ego. I don't think most of you are going to have a problem with it. You might experience a problem with other people experiencing a problem with it more than anything. But just know that, especially anybody who's getting like really drunk off of themselves, okay? Who may be feeling themselves to the point where everyone's like, do they know they ain't all that? So just like, be mindful. Just be mindful of that. And then two long-term aspects that we have been in for weeks now, which is still here. Saturn retrograding in Pisces, trine Pallas Athena in Scorpio, while Saturn is also opposing Juno. Okay. That is just continued emotional detachment, continued letting go for the sake of your own spiritual growth and development, and also continued reevaluation of your own dynamics of control and authority and partnership. All right, so just know that's just in the background. I wouldn't worry about it. But yeah, I'd really focus more on all this Leo energy. Okay, so again, Aries and Leo coming up here, 20 to 25 degrees for both of them. So considering there's so much going on in those signs, I would just look at both of those houses as far as where a lot of stuff is going to be going down with how you're communicating, how you are dressing yourself, how you are showing up for people, or even just showing up out in the world, how people are recognizing you, seeing these changes, how you may be feeling really confident, or how you could even be deepening some of your relationships, or just having a lot of fun and flirty and romantic sexual energy too, or even just how you're creating and how you're getting inspired to do certain things, right? A lot going on in Aries and Leo. A lot of fun things. But that is what I have to say. Yep, that's all I have to say about the astrology. And like I said, for Mercury retrograde, I will probably be doing some videos soon, astrology-based videos, and I will be doing some videos relating to that over on Patreon. Okay? And I will also be live this Friday on Patreon for the full moon in Capricorn hangout. And I think that's it for the astrology portion. We are going to do a collective read as well. Let's see. I'm going on vacation in New York this week, and I'm definitely feeling myself. Well, I hope you have a good time. Oh, hi, Imagine. Hi. No, you didn't miss any cards. You literally just came right on time for the cards. Just right on time. Hey, Alejandra. Yes, please like the video. We have over 300 people. Please like the video. Please, please, please. I encourage you to do so. It only helps. Let's see. Hey, Barbie, $10. My little boy says hello. Oh, hi. We've been with you since 2019. He's 10 now and doesn't exactly watch, but that's okay. But you're a familiar face in our home. Oh my gosh, I love that. Hold on. Thank you so much. Thank you. You're very sweet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, happy 50th birthday. That's a biggie. That is a biggie. Congrats. Wow. I actually know someone who's turning 50 soon too, in a couple months. Mm. That's so dope. Thank you. Leo in 11th house, Lilith in first house now. Oh, actually, that could be really nice. That could actually be really, really nice. Because 11th house is also a house where recognition can take place. So that recognition component is like the attention you may be getting could be a lot more than you're used to. So that could be fun. So just enjoy being seen, you know? Hi, I love your channel, sending you love. Thank you. Hey, Alvin, I saw the WaterBaby reference. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys, let's get into the collective read here. Where are we at? Okay. All right, cool. I am going to start off with the Star Codes Astro Oracle. Oh, which is this one. All the decks that I use are linked below if you guys are curious. A card fell out from a different deck that I don't almost ever use. Very interesting, worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Remember I was getting a bit of a timing component with a group of you? Like some of you are just kind of like patiently, well, some of you learned to be patient, is most of what I'm hearing, have been learning to patiently wait for the exact right time to take action on something. Very interesting. So some of you guys are very aware that you are waiting for the exact moment, or even like maybe for something to take place. But I can feel another group of you, like you are already moving and grooving. I almost want to do different groups, actually. You know what? Let's do that. That feels right. We're going to do different groups. Oh, how do I want to do the different groups? And we're just going to do back to back or simultaneous? No, we'll do back to back. That will be timestamp easier. Okay. Group 1. Let's start at 47 minutes. Ooh, this is going to be kind of fun. Actually, you know what? On that note, since there is so much romantic energy, why not use that deck? I felt like it happened for a reason, right? All right, so group 1. Group 1. Let's pull a card from the Romance Angel deck and see what's up. I'm getting Citrine as a crystal just immediately. You know what? Maybe that's the group you're going to be called. Citrine group. Hold on. Gotta make all these notes. Okay. All right, group 1. I'm getting Citrine hardcore. It was like, Citrine. It was just like right there. It's very, very Leo stone. Some of you could have strong Leo in your chart, but obviously we're under the influence of a lot of Leo energy. You could be working a lot with your solar plexus at this time. You could be really focused on your money at this time. At group 1, I'm almost getting this feeling like you're focused, and then something or someone like into your life. Not subtle at all. Not subtle at all. It almost feels like you're getting interrupted. Yeah, like I'm getting this vibe of you're focused, you're doing this, you got your routine, and you're on it, and you're on it, and you're on it, and you don't see something coming. It doesn't feel bad. I want to make that very clear. It just feels like someone burst through your front door, kind of a feeling. That's just the energy behind it. It doesn't have to be a person, but let's go ahead and pull a card from the Romance Angel deck here. Can I get a card for group 1, please? Group 1, it's really important for you to stay rooted in your confidence. Like they're really emphasizing that. Probably why you're the Citrine group. Okay. Let's see. You have getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. I'm feeling it's more about authenticity here. Authenticity. It feels like whatever it is you're moving and grooving on, it feels like it's actually some new stuff. Almost like a new routine, or you've like recently incorporated something into your life, like maybe you started going to the gym again, or maybe you picked up a dance class. Like there's like something new that you've already been like putting energy and effort into, or just enjoying is what I'm getting. And then you have this intrusion that comes in. But I'm hearing that this card is coming out more for authenticity, like really emphasizing authenticity for you. This is only going to be aided if you are also paying attention to your confidence and where you're at in relationship to yourself, how you feel about yourself, and how comfortable you feel expressing yourself in an authentic way. Okay, let's go ahead and pull a card from Star Code's Astro Oracle for group 1. They're already telling me group 3. So group 1 and 3, you may have something going on between the two of you. Okay, focus on group 1, please. Okay, thank you. Group 1. They're also showing me white lilies. I don't know. Do lilies come in other colors? I guess they do. They wanted me to emphasize white. White in particular for group 1. So something about white lilies. To me, that's a sign of purity, of divinity, even like sensuality, sexuality. But there's a purity in it. There's a sacredness in it, right? Yeah, group 1, it feels like you just have your priorities in order and you're just honoring it. You're honoring them. And you're honoring yourself. That's what I'm getting with you, group 1. Oh, okay. Can I get a card for group 1 for this week? What's going on for group 1 for this week? Yeah, now they're showing me the zebra. That's just speaking to the authenticity. Just saw one of my astral cats. Group 1, please. Can I get a card for group 1? I feel like if I were to pick a card for you, group 1, it would be Strength card this week. Because I just had this wave of sexual energy come through, but you're not letting yourself run away with it. You're not letting it overwhelm you. It's like you are actually very balanced with it. You're not like suppressing it. You're navigating your own flow there. Staying very centered in self, which is good. That's very good. Can I get another card for group 1? Can I get a card for group 1, please? We have 3rd house with communication. Okay. Group 1, no matter who you're dealing. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the $20. Thanks for these 6 years. Oh, thank you. Aw, I'm trying to like it. Hold on. Why won't you let me? Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Very, very sweet. But coming back, so group 1, we have this communication card with the getting to know each other. So no matter who you're dealing with this week, they keep emphasizing hold on to yourself. Hold on to yourself, be real, be authentic, stay confident, but don't let things get, like, don't run away with things. Don't run away with things. Don't get lost in things. Stay rooted and stay grounded. Can we get one more card? Can I get one more card for group 1, please? Whoa. Let's see. Put all these away. And we got Mercury. All right. Yeah, group 1. Are you just like hardcore Leos and Geminis, group 1? Because 3rd house of Mercury, that is very Gemini. It could even be Virgo, but that is like Gemini on Gemini energy going on there. Yeah, it's very clear that no matter what you're doing, there's going to be a lot of interactions going on, group 1. So just hold the self, hold the self, hold the self. Again, they're really emphasizing that. I'm going to pull from another deck here. Let's see. Not that one. Okay. We're going to do the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck here for you guys. Thank you for this live. Absolutely. I do them every week. I do them every week. I am here every Monday normally. It was just a weird Monday. It was a very weird Monday. Again, hold on to yourself, group 1, because I just heard there's a lot of ideas, is what I just heard. There's a lot of ideas. Sometimes it's really easy to just talk, right? And not actually make anything concrete. Be mindful that all the chitter chatter is not giving you ideas that actually is not even, like, they're not even going to come to fruition. It's really just about staying rooted in yourself. Is really what that's keeps coming back to. Okay. Can I get a card for group 1, please? Can I get a card for group one? Especially if you are meeting people now that you're actually interested in like dating or whatever. It's really important not to become enmeshed. It's really important to not take on their energy too much. And this just feels really fast. Like it just feels like a lot of chitter chatter and engaging with a lot of people. So yeah, just hold on to yourself. Hold on to yourself. Any messages or insights for group one here? Ooh, okay. Eagle coming out for group one. Eagle is a master of fire and air. It's often my world card because it can speak to closing and opening of doors, like closing and opening of cycles. I feel like you've recently opened a new cycle for yourself, but I feel like because there's so much engaging with other people and you're also like doing your thing, you could be opening even more doors. So just be mindful of that. They said be the master of air and be the master of fire. Know when to stop. Thank you. Yeah. Know when to engage in this and know when not to. Know when to say, I gotta get off the phone. Know when to say, I gotta go home and sleep. Know when to say, I gotta focus on this, that, or the other. And know when to say yes to going and hanging out and spending time, or know when to say, like, yeah, let's sit down and talk about that idea, right? Like, know when to say yes and when to say no. Know when to engage and when to disengage. Master of fire and air. Okay, it's very clear. All right, that being said, let's go ahead and pull some tarot cards. Just reminding you that these are your cards, group one. Okay, let's do it. Ooh. Any messages or group twos are trying to come in? Wait your turn. Wait your turn. What's the Twilight Zone? You've never seen Twilight Zone? Oh my god. Oh no. Am I like has that much time passed that like there are people like who are like adults who like don't know Twilight Zone? Oh man. Just Google it. Just Google it. Honestly, it still stands up, man. It still stands up against a lot of modern shows, in my opinion. The writing is just so original. But anyway, focusing on group one here. Any messages or insights for group one for this week? What's going on for group one for this week? I'm getting a lot of queens. We'll see if we get any queens, but they're showing me all the queens actually. Okay. Queens are more receptive energy, which is interesting because in the beginning I felt like you were on top of it and you're doing this and you're doing that, and it's like you're really just prioritizing your priorities, honestly, which is very masculine. So it's interesting we're seeing a lot of queens. A lot of the engaging that you're doing with other people might put you in this place of receiving. Just keep the balance. Remember, learn when to say no and when to say yes. Keep the balance there. Yeah, I feel like balance is going to be really important for group one. What's going on for group one for this week? For my Citrine group? For my Citrine group. They just gave me the crystals for the other groups. Okay. Wow. Oh, no wonder. No wonder you're going to have to hold on to yourself, and no wonder there's a lot of talking going on. We have 10 of Wands, 5 of Wands, which means when you have the 10 and the 5, there's another 5 of Wands there. Because 5 of Wands can be internal conflict, but it's also about competition and conflict externally, fighting with other people, but it's usually over things that are not worth your time, right? With the 10 being here, again, indicating another 5 of Wands, so it definitely is indicating it's external, okay? There's some stuff going on with people, and it doesn't even have to be like full on fighting. If anything, I just feel tension. I feel tension and frustration, and then we have the 3 of Swords. I'm hearing disturbance. Yeah, this is about you setting boundaries, group one. This is about knowing when it's been too much interaction with other people and when you need to take a step back. 3 of Swords, discomfort, heartache, It's more about discomfort and frustration is what I'm getting with you. Some of you, this is also old energy, like how you have allowed yourself to get involved with people to the point where they have become burdensome. Like it became too much to deal with certain people or certain situations, but it didn't have to be that bad. It didn't have to get to that point, but this is the wisdom I think you're gaining from your past is looking back and going like, okay, I need to learn to cut things off at the past, or I need to learn to set boundaries so things don't get like this. So things don't get burdensome, frustrating, and resentful, right? Right, because then we also have the Eight of Cups coming out here. Detaching from that and letting that go. Yes, detaching from that and letting that go. I'm also getting, which sign is this? This is a group. This is a collective group. So that's just how it came to me to do them today during the reading. So I'm going to do 3 groups. This is just group 1. Okay. But yeah, so coming back to you guys, there is a component of trust here, putting more trust in yourself to be able to put a boundary in place when need be, or to say no, and that it's okay to say no. Some of you have really struggled either with like fear of telling people no, or fear of disappointing people, a little people pleasing. Some of you have probably just also had innate fear because of your own past experiences. Like maybe you dealt with a lot of gaslighters, or you dealt with a lot of unstable people. It is perfectly okay and safe to tell people no. It is perfectly okay and safe to set a boundary, right? For your own self-regulation. Like it is okay to do that, right? But this is you making peace with that so you can learn to trust yourself in navigating these kind of experiences with people so that you're not compromised and you also don't compromise your relationships. Because like if you're just honest about this, most people, healthy people, the right people, the people who are your people would understand. And they'd be like, oh yeah, I got my own shit to do, right? Avoiding enmeshment, which is exactly what I was already getting for you guys. I'm gonna get a couple more cards here for group 1. Hold on, they're giving me. Hold on, I just gotta write these down. They're giving me information about the different groups, and I'm like, I just need to I need to write it down so I can stay focused on group 1. Okay. Coming back to group 1. I feel like there's 2 more cards that want to come out. Some of you, it's also a validation thing. Be mindful of that. Some of you, it's a validation thing. I feel like that might also be tied to group 3. Let's see. Beautiful. Ace of Swords, truth and clarity of these feelings, of these fears, of your past experiences, and the wisdom of I can say no and I can that's an example of exercising personal power, right? In a way that's flowy and not forceful, right? Can I get a card with the Ace of Swords, please? Can I get a card with the Ace of Swords for group 1? Yeah, I'm starting to feel like there is an overlap of group 1 and group 3. I just got this feeling of fear. Yeah, I just got this feeling of fear. Recognizing a fear of all these things. Can I get one more card, please? Just one to go with the Ace of Swords. I love it. So group 1, remember when I said if I could give you a card for this week, it would be the Strength card? So this is you gaining clarity of this, of your feelings, of your past, and how you need to navigate things moving forward. And the answer is the Strength card for you. It is having that sense of balance, being centered in self, right? You're very in tune with your primal animalistic self, and you're very in tune with your you know, more, you could say higher self, like your soul really is what it is, and you're sitting in the middle. This is almost feeling like you're sitting in the center and you're just being the best human you can be by keeping yourself honest and balanced in that place, and also not reactive, not feeding into fear, but also needing to say, hey, I can't, or hey, no, or enough is enough, or that's inappropriate, like saying the things that are needed so that you maintain your boundaries and you can maintain self, okay? Integrity of self, and also integrity of the things that you're focusing on for yourself. So beautiful, beautiful group one. All right, let's move on to group two. Group two, your stone is moss agate. It was just very clear when they gave it to me. So let's get into group two. Grounding. Oh, group two, grounding. Well, group one is more about holding on to themselves, keeping themselves honest. Group two, I feel like you need a lot of grounding right now. Why do you need a lot of grounding right now? Let me just feel you out. Okay, so group two, you're the patient group. You're the group that's really needing a lot of patience right now with yourself and with life. Oh, my right leg just started freaking out. Group two, I feel like you're restless to take action. Also, what they're saying too is being very clear. Do not look at other people right now. Do not look at what other people are doing. Do not get triggered by what other people are doing for themselves. I'm feeling a little bit of like, and maybe this is where your personal past is coming into play, or your unhealed stuff is coming into play. I'm feeling a little bit of like, they're doing this and they're doing that, like almost like comparing yourself to other people. But it's from a place of restlessness. It's because you don't feel good about your standing in something right now, or your own life right now, is how that's feeling to me. And that's something I think you need to address between you and yourself. Okay? What is it that you are not okay with right now? Like in what you're doing, or how your life is, or yourself. Like there's something you are not at peace with. And that's coinciding with needing to take your time. Like this restless energy is coming from a place of wanting to control something because you don't like it. You don't like something about you or your life right now, and you're wanting to change it. But it's like, it's very clear, like you need to be patient right now. You need to be patient, and you need to kind of almost be still, is what I'm gathering. And I think this is tying to the group I was feeling of like, there's something that needs to happen before you can take action, or almost like you're waiting for the exact perfect timing to take action on something. My like right leg started shaking like crazy, and that's the masculine side, right? That's how we take action, right? So group two, I think that you may be struggling with your own restlessness, but understand where your restlessness is coming from. Maybe that's also why you're being guided to be so patient and slow right now, because maybe there is something that you have left unresolved when in terms of that. Yeah, that's how it's feeling. That's just how it's feeling to me. But let's go ahead and pull a card. Starting with the Romance Angels deck. For group two, for the Moss Agate group. For group two, for the Moss Agate group. Yeah, it's interesting because like group one, it felt like they were almost like harmonizing their masculine and feminine by actually like allowing themselves to be more assertive when need be, to be more vocal when need be. And I almost feel like you're being asked to be a little bit more in your feminine, or to take on more feminine energy, by being patient and being still. Some of you are gonna have to do some work here. Some of you are gonna have to dig into this discomfort that you're feeling, okay? Can I get a card for group two? Whoa. Explosion. But there's one card that was left on my lap. Past life relationship. Look at all these cards that exploded out. Oh my god. Look at all these cards that exploded out in the opposite direction. All of them flew over here, and that was the only one that landed right in my lap. I'm just gonna look at these. Ooh. Oh, okay. Yeah, group two, just even by looking at those cards, I have this feeling. Um, you haven't made peace with something from your past, but it's like, it's whatever it is, it's really affected how you, like, how you feel valuable, like how you feel worthy is what I'm gathering. And I do feel like there's a lot of like karmic energy in this. But again, we're kind of in a great week for dealing with stuff like that. Even Capricorn is very karmic in nature. Hey, Clyde, wherever you are, he's taking a little nappy poo. He had his acupuncture earlier today, which was good, but his asthma has been really bad. Really, really bad. So they also prescribed a new medication. It's not quite ready yet. Hopefully it'll be ready tomorrow, but he had a little asthma attack this morning too, right before the vet, and I was like, oh, like his arthritis. He gets acupuncture mostly for his arthritis, but it's also supposed to be for his asthma, which like his arthritis is pretty bad, but he's also an older cat. I can deal with that better than I can deal with watching him have an asthma attack. Like that's my baby, and like when he can't breathe, it's just like I can't do anything. But anyway, sorry. Coming back, group two. Let's talk about you guys. So with past life relationship, I do feel like there's something very like karmic, and it feels very prickly. It feels very prickly. Dare I say there's even two groups in this one group? Because I'm feeling like some of you in this group have been in complete denial about how something has affected you. And I feel like a lot of you, this is old, okay? A lot of you, this feels really, really old, like probably in childhood or even like decades ago or a decade ago, like old, okay? It happened a while ago. It ain't new. It is not new, but it has definitely affected you. Some of you, could this actually be like a past life thing? It could be. I almost want to say more like maybe even something that happened to a version of you that's very close to you in time and space. I know how that sounds, but it's just how it's coming through. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Some of you, it's ancestral. No wonder. So some of you, it is ancestral stuff that's been passed down. Some of you, it's a really, really old trauma. So just take it as it resonates here. Okay. But I feel like it's something that has directly affected your self-worth or value. And some of you, because it's ancestral, is a very deep program. Okay. Almost like you couldn't even form a relationship with your own sense of value and worth because it's such a deeply rooted program. Like you didn't even have the chance to, is what I'm feeling for some of you. I'm also getting that for some of you, this has affected your health. Also, probably why Moss Agate came out. Moss Agate is very grounding, but also could help with health and even just connecting you more to your body. Yeah. Oh, I'm really feeling. Oh, I just got nauseous. Yeah, I'm really feeling that for group two. The ailments that could potentially, not all encompassing, but could potentially coincide with this kind of a thing, like digestive anything, weight issues. Um, what else? Back pain, back pain, back pain. They wanted me to say that 3 times, so maybe that's a prominent one. But like I am getting digestive and like weight stuff. Like diabetes, things like that is also what I'm getting. Again, not all encompassing, and I'm not a medical doctor. It's just what I'm picking up on. But yeah, group two, there's some things you gotta go cut some heads off some demons. Okay, you gotta cut some heads off some demons. That is your homework assignment, and this is why you need to be still to do this, because you have to, for especially for those who are in denial, you have to first get out of denial. And there's a group of you that are not in denial, and you're probably actually very aware. But it's like it's deep work. It's deep work. I do feel like you are closing out a painful cycle, though. I do for group two. I really do. And I think there's a lot of help and support energetically and divinely this week to get it done. And I do think it can get done. And I think for most of you, it's going to get done. It is also a free will thing, though, because it is you also looking at it. It's you looking at it. It's you acknowledging it. It's you taking accountability for it and doing the work that's necessary. It doesn't have to be this like crying on the floor experience. It doesn't have to be like that. It could be a very empowering one. It could even just be happening in dream time. Group two, you probably have been having weird dreams. okay? You probably have been, or you've probably been getting weird synchronicities about stuff from your past, or if it's ancestral, stuff about your family, all right? Wow, lots to say with group 2. Oh shit, I didn't write down a time. Oh no. Damn it. Anybody get the timestamp for group 2? I'd really appreciate it. Ah, dang it. I've been so good about that too. I've been so good about that. All right, let's get a Star Codes Astro Oracle for group 2 then. But really, if anybody had the time, please tell me what it is. Oh, can I get a card for group 2, please? I would not be surprised if it's 8th house. Stop worrying about missing out. It's also what I just heard. Stop worrying about FOMO. Stop it. Stop it. Just stop it. This is just your journey. Everyone's got different timing. Everybody's got a different journey. Just because we're in a really cool astrology window doesn't mean you're going to miss out on life or anything like that. Okay? We can't get it as it is. It's live. Okay. I just didn't know if anybody was just like low-key writing them down for whatever reason. If anyone does it after the fact, I'd greatly appreciate it. Okay. Cool. So fast. And of course, it's Scorpio. Of course it is. Of course it is. We know why Scorpio is here. What is Scorpio really good at? Diving into the depths of the subconscious and moving through realms and portals to dig out the truth. And to also destroy things. To let things die. So that birthing and rebirths can happen. No other reason to talk about Scorpio. It's just very clear why that's there. It's very, very clear. Some of you, there could be a sexual component to this trauma or even like a shutdown of your libido. I think that's only going to be very specific to a few people because most people I'm feeling more like solar stuff more than sacral. But Scorpio and past life relationship, there could be some sacral stuff in relation to this. Okay. Let's go ahead and pull from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. Oh, and of course it's Scorpio. Of course. Of course. Watch Vulture come out. Watch it just be repetitive. The Scorpio energy. I bet it's going to be like whale or vulture. Oh, maybe swan. Feeling a little swan. Feel free to call them out. It's always a little fun. God, group 3. Hold on. Staying in group 2, staying in group 2, staying in group 2. Okay. Let's see what wants to come out for group 2. What was the crystal for group 2? Moss agate. Moss agate. Group 2, the more patient and still you are, and the more you take time to actually like connect to your body and your sense of self, the quicker all this clarity is going to come through, the quicker this whole process is going to happen. It's like I keep getting there's a resistance because it's like you're wanting to get out of the discomfort so badly. Yeah, my right leg is twitching again. Any messages or insights for group 2 for this week? Oh, wow. Every time when these two come out, it's just interesting. You know, it's like people develop decks, and then as decks come out and the collective works with them, just like the personality of the deck just starts to shine through, right? So those who've been with me for a long time know this pairing pretty well. Dragonfly and Sea Serpent. This is a very yin-yang kind of an energy going on, okay? Dragonfly is very third eye energy, while Sea Serpent is sacral. Both are kind of portal-esque because Sea Serpent with the sacral, that's literally the womb, right? That's literally like a source of moving from divinity into the physical. It is also a source of creative life force energy. Not to mention it's like literally the, I can never pronounce it, Ouroboros, I think, you know, the snake eating its own tail, right? Literally. But Dragonfly is a card of perception and beliefs. And just like the yin, oh my God, I can't speak. The yin yangness of it all, right? It almost has this feeling of like, of penetration of like masculine to feminine, even just like penetration of truth and honesty, and how that also comes through in our creative expression. Sea Serpent is also a card of expression. So both of these coming out here. Group 2, it's, oh, Atlas, hi, hey Atlas. If my calculations are correct, Group 2 started around 1 hour and 6 minutes. Thank you. I appreciate that, because that was going to make me nuts, so thank you. So when it comes to this, take time to sit, take time to really get in tune with self, okay? Because the truth will penetrate. The truth will come through and out, and you'll deal with it. You'll deal with the process. Again, also, if there's been any like sexual components to this, Sea Serpent also speaks to that. But Group 2, I'm also getting that there's something that's been trying to be birthed from you, is also what I'm getting with you. And I think for some of you, that's also a source of your frustration and restlessness, is feeling like there's something you're supposed to be doing, or there's something you're supposed to be saying, or there's something you're supposed to be taking action on, or there's something you're supposed to be planning. Like, I can't get away from this restless feeling of like, there's something I'm supposed to do. There's something else I should be producing. Like, there's something, and you haven't been able to put your finger on it because this work has to happen first. You gotta deal and make peace with whatever this is, this trauma is, or this ancestral thing is that is affecting how valuable you feel. And some of you, that notion too of I need to be doing something, there's a fine line between having an intuitive gut feeling that there's something that you could be doing for your sense of fulfillment, or even that spirit's like nudging you to do. There's a fine line between that and just feeling like you need to produce and do for the sake of doing and producing. That is definitely a program from our society, and that definitely has an effect on our self-worth and value, because it makes us feel like we're only valuable if we're producing or doing something. But that's just not true. And for some of you, maybe that's the core of it. It's just that program that you adopted from society, right? And maybe even been enabled from your family. But I do feel very strongly, though, Group 2, that there definitely is like, I feel like it's probably just you, actually, more than a creation. Some of you, it's a creation or a passion project, but something is trying to be birthed from you right now. It feels like it's you. It feels like it's an authentic you, is really what's just trying to be birthed right now. And again, that can only happen if you deal with that dissonance of your own value and worth. Okay? Whew, let's get in some tarot cards here. Okay? There's a lot going on with that Dragonfly and Sea Serpent. I can't get off of it. I feel like there's something about partnership specifically, actually, with this Dragonfly, Sea Serpent. I just can't get away from this feeling of like fertilizing the egg. Right? Because Dragonfly, with like all these like hard ridges and even the way it's shaped, feels very like penile, right? And then this literally, I feel like I'm just looking at an egg, like I'm looking at an ovary full of eggs is what I'm looking. Even like this, it just feels like little, male specimens, right? Trying to get to the egg. Like, I can't get away from that feeling and the visuals of that. But I feel like it's just you meeting you internally, so you can just be authentically you. But it also feels like a coming out of the shell. It's like, because people haven't seen that version of you. You haven't even seen that version of you. This is also part of the frustration. It's like, it's this like it's like this fraction of like you that doesn't feel present or doesn't feel connected. Oh, the chat just went crazy. Sometimes the chat is glitchy. I've noticed last like month or so. Anyway, let's get into the tarot cards here. Of course, Empress. Oh, the frustration. I like grounding. 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 It doesn't matter if you're supposed to do something right now. Even if it's a spiritual thing versus working, like it doesn't even matter because this has to be taken care of first. You're only going to know once you take care of this. It's only going to be clear once you take care of this. Okay. I don't know why I'm getting frustrated. I think because I'm just feeling your frustration. Any messages or insights for group 2? I wouldn't be surprised if group 2 is like for water signs, honestly. There's like so much like watery, realmy, blue energy going on here. Even sea serpent with the sacral. Sacral is also the water element. Any messages or insights for group 2? Let's see here. Oh, man. Hold on a second. Man, cards just don't lie. They never lie. Queen of Pentacles and Judgment. Queen of Pentacles, very earthy, but also very, very focused on the material plane. And here's Judgment going, hey, group 2, you got to pay attention to something. Hey, group 2, stop trying to do and sit. Hey, group 2, do you not understand that weird feeling you have in your body about needing to do this or needing to do that because there's something that you don't feel good about in your life? Like Queen of Pentacles is multitasking. Queen of Pentacles likes to manage everything. Actually, she's quite the manager. She likes to multitask. She likes to do. She's Capricorn. She likes to produce. She likes to hold it down for everybody, right? That gives her a sense of purpose. Some of you feel like you don't have a sense of purpose. Some of you feel aimless. And I understand feeling that way, but also it doesn't have to be true. You just have to go recover it. You have to go recover your sense of purpose. You have to go recover. This feels definitely soul retrieval, but I feel like Judgment's here to like be like, hey, stop doing all the things you've been trying to do and sit and pay attention to what you haven't been wanting to pay attention to, is what I'm gathering with that. Stop doing and stop producing and start paying attention. Let's see what else wants to come out for group 2. Some of you yearn to be the Queen of Pentacles. That's also coming through. I'm getting like you have this image in your head. Who knows where it came from? You have this image in your head of what you should be and what you should be doing. But is that even rooted in your soul? Is that even coming from you? Or is that coming from a program, right? Or is that coming from your ego? Or is that coming from your ego? Spirit's just like, pay attention. Pay attention. Anything else for group 2? Sirens. Anything else for group 2? Some of you may have North Node Cancer or Capricorn that could be coming in here too, or strong Scorpio just because it's here. I'm getting North Node energy though around that Queen of Pentacles. Hold on a second. Wow. Empress and the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles. Pause and reevaluate. Pause and reevaluate. Pause and reevaluate. Again, this image thing. There seems to be this like yearning to be the Empress or the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles is very close to Empress, in my opinion. Not saying that this is like, all like this is a universal truth here. But in my opinion, in tarot, the Queen of Pentacles is the last queen we learn lessons from before becoming the Empress. The Empress is all the queens, right? So very, very close energies here. But there seems to be this yearning, this longing to be the Empress, to be the Queen of Pentacles. But again, it's like, where is that coming from? And that can be in terms of many things. That can be in terms of traditional values. Like maybe you want to be owner of a business. Maybe you want to be a parent. Maybe you want to be a wife or a husband, right? It's like maybe that's just what it comes down to for some of you. Maybe some of you want to have a lot of wealth. Maybe some of you want to be seen as like somebody who can manage or lead, right? Because that's also Empress and Queen of Pentacles. No matter which way you cut it, there's this call to reevaluate. And not just in a way of like looking at your current life now, it's by going within and being really honest with yourself about where this is coming from at all. Okay. You're gonna hit it. You're gonna get there. Let's see. Let me get two more. Some of you have been having some, I want to say, strange occurrences with money. The word strange was wanting to come through. You've been having strange occurrences with money. I don't know what to make of that. Strange? Like, what does that constitute? Like, what constitutes strange occurrences with money? Maybe you've had like money go missing randomly, or like, I don't know, something. I'm getting like strange, funky mishaps with money and income, managing money. I'm just getting the word strange. I don't know what else to make of that. Peculiar, out of the ordinary. Just using synonyms here. That's what I'm getting. There's also a reason for that. Okay. Bizarre. Okay. Whatever. Can I get two more cards, please? Some of you also do not see yourself the way other people see you. That's pretty common. I think that's just very much the human experience. But some of you, it's very exacerbatedly different. Oh, thank you, body image. Some of you, this is a body image thing. You would already know if that's something that applies to you, and if it applies to you, it applies to you. That feels more in the realm of like body dysmorphia, or even like potentially eating disorders. Sorry if that's triggering. It's just what's coming through. But also some of you, again, this is coming back to the whole self-worth, self-value thing, which just seems to be the overall theme for group 2. Some of you have no idea how valuable you really are to other people. But it's like, it's almost like not the value you want to be seen for. Oh, there it is. It's not the value you want to be seen for. Or there's something about it that you can't fully accept. Almost like you yearn to be this, and what's driving that is a distorted thing, or just like a dissonance of your own value and worth, but other people see you as highly valuable, or maybe even already being like this, but you don't think that you are. Like there's a dissonance there. There's a dissonance there. And what's driving you to be in this position or stay in this position is an insecure distortion versus just being it, embodying it, and feeling that value within yourself. Yeah, that's very interesting. All right, can I get two more? Let's see. 10 of Wands and 9 of Cups. It's like you're burdened by your own desires. It's what I'm getting with that. You're burdened by your own desires, because it's like it's put you in a vicious cycle is what I'm getting for you, group 2. It's put you in a vicious cycle of striving and yearning for a certain status, or to be seen a certain way, or to be accomplished in a certain way, and it never feels like enough. Hence the burden. And it never feels like enough. It's never satisfying. And again, there, along with that is like the disconnect of actually like feeling like you've made it, or actually like feeling like you're it, even if people see you that way or not. You understand what I'm saying? Some of you could really be battling a lot of addictions as well. This feels like the filling the void, right? Trying to fill the void, trying to fill the void, trying to fill the void, which can never be filled because it's a void. So some of you could be battling vices and addictions, or probably have in your past. But yeah, it's like you're a slave to your own desires. It's because you don't see things as they are. You don't see things as they truly are. And because there's this disconnect to your own value and worth, regardless of how people see you, it's never going to feel like enough until you address that. Well, now I see why I came in during this reading. Well, welcome. Glad you're here. So yeah, the only way to really address that, you got to get in there. You got to get down into those feelings of not feeling worthy and valuable and see where they came from, right? And start to look at that inner demon, cut the head off that demon. Even the word yearning, right? Even the word yearning. You just got to be honest with yourself as to why you yearn for that at all and why you feel this dissonance with yourself at all. And you got to start to rewrite that program. Some of you are going to realize it relates to your family, especially with the Queen of Pentacles and the Empress. Definitely feels very like mommy issues, which we all have. I am convinced everyone on this planet has mommy issues to some extent, somehow, some way. I'd be shocked if it wasn't true. And who knows, maybe it's not true. It's a very absolute statement. I shouldn't speak in such absolutes. But yeah, this feels very, like, again, it's either a societal issue that like has bred this program for you, or it's coming down to like family stuff. So again, ancestral or an old trauma tied into that. And I keep getting the word partnership. Every time I come down here, I'm getting the word partnership for you guys. You guys ended up having a long reading. Just looking at the timestamps that I have. What is that? Some of you may have I'm just going to say a complex because I don't know how to phrase it, of needing to come off strong, needing to come off, maybe even come off as like strong and capable all on your own, almost like Superman, Superwoman. Some of you, that's part of it. Some of you, that's part of it. But again, where did that come from? Where did that come from? If it's societal, again, this is coming through different ways, whether it's like body stuff or like achieving traditionally, etc. Some of you are going to realize it comes down to race. Just got to put it out there. So you're going to realize it comes down to race. Some of you, it comes down to gender, if we're talking society. Some of you, it comes down to trauma around socioeconomic status, if we're talking society, roots. But anyway, I could get lost in this energy forever. So group 2, I think that concludes, you guys. You know what work you have to do if you're resonating with group 2. Okay, let's go ahead and get into group 3. Group 3 might be very false on my time. I feel like I need to breathe it out before getting into group 3. Why do I feel that way about group 3? So group 3, the stone that they gave me for you, Moonstone. Just kind of surprised. And they just gave me Opal. Okay, for you guys, Moonstone, Opal. Group 3. Oh, hiding. Are we hiding? Are we hiding, group 3? Feels a little bit like that. Group 3, I was kind of feeling initially that you guys were the fear group, that it was almost like either being completely emotionally disassociated or in a complete denial about your own feelings. But now I feel like you're hiding. Actually, this is kind of reminding me of the Pisces reading I did a while ago, just like that term, like hiding behind the moon. It's almost like what I feel for group 3. But it feels like some of you may be paralyzed with fear, or overwhelmed by fear. I don't think there's going to be many for group 3. Now I'm getting like a rose quartz. So many crystals for group 3. Now I'm getting like rose quartz. I almost want to say there's a need to calm the mind with you and to be very gentle with yourself. Yeah, like group 3, you're requiring a lot of calm energy. Oh, damn it, timestamp. I forgot. Shoot, I totally forgot. Thank you. I got so caught up in just channeling. Oh shoot, I don't know how far back to go. I'll just do that, I guess. Thank you. Thank you. But let's come back. Yeah, I want to say you're in like 8 of Swords, 9 of Swords is what I'm actually seeing. Like to first like calm the mind, but you also need like a big hug. Oh. Some of you may be feeling kind of homesick or even wanting like the touch of a mother, like the hug of a mother, is what I'm getting for group 3. Let's pull a card from the Romance Angel deck here for group 3. I feel like you're very quiet. I don't even know if you're talking to people right now. Some of you may be struggling with depression. Yeah, there's some sort of like paralysis happening with you. It's like paralyzed to take action, but I'm also feeling like emotional paralysis. I don't even know how else to describe that. Alexa, play I Want a Mom That Will Last Forever. Oh, what a title. I didn't even know that was a song. Can I get a card for group 3, please? Not what I would have expected. Can I get a second one? Hold on, I'll show you guys in a second. I'm just like, yeah, group 3 is gonna, I can feel it. There's layers. No wonder you're hiding. I think there's a lot to hide here. Can I get, can I get another card for group 3? It's like group 3, I think you've been bottling a lot. And it almost feels like a flood is trying to happen. Ooh. Oh, I got chills. We have chemistry and wedding. So for those who've been with me for a long time, the chemistry card used to be my like soulmate, twin flamey kind of a card. And wedding stands for itself. It's wedding. There's a strong magnetic attraction here, and the situation involves marriage. Group 3, this might be for you, or this might be for someone who knows you. I feel like whoever is in group 3, it feels like there's just like a deep depression happening, like a deep depression or a deep paralysis. Oh, okay, there's definitely a couple groups within this group. One of you, it's this deep-seated loneliness, this like deep-seated deep-seated depression around loneliness, like of longing for this and not experiencing this, or feeling like you've never experienced this. Some of you may be plagued with thoughts of I will never experience this. Feels heavy. That feels heavy. Another group of you, it almost feels like maybe you recently lost this, or like this has been something in your past and not in your present, and there's still some unresolved feelings there, unresolved emotions there. Yeah, so one group of you within this group, groups within groups, fractals of time and space and reality. So one group, it's like this deep-seated depression and belief that you will never experience this. That's just a belief. It doesn't mean it's true, right? And there's another group of you where it's you were touched by this at some point in your life, and it's this unresolved feelings of not having that in your present, okay? Let's just keep going. And like, there's really not much that needs to be said there. It's just very clear. It's just very, very clear. whatever group you're finding yourself in, they said don't go there. Okay, never mind. That's what happens when you pick up on so many things. Sometimes you delve into things where they're like, we didn't want you to go there. And it's like, oh, okay, never mind. My bad. I opened the door they didn't want me to open. Okay. We won't go into that reality, but there's another interesting reality there. But they won't want me to talk about it, so we're not going to talk about it. All right, pulling cards from Star Codes Astro Oracle. Okay. I was just confirming why they didn't want me to go there, and they said, what I just picked up on that they don't want me to talk about, that it could be misconstrued. So it almost like it doesn't matter if it's true or not, like not ready to hear it. Like who it's like whoever it's for, like that group is not ready to hear it. So it's like, okay. All right, anyway, moving on. For Star Codes Astro Oracle. Any messages or insights for group 3? Oh, group 3. Oh, I feel like I'm like touching a piece of you that is like very hidden away. It's like very hidden away. Even if you're not like in super deep depression and hiding from the world, like the piece of this group that I'm touching feels like behind closed doors. Like we don't talk about that. We don't share that. We don't go there. We don't go there. We don't, like it's like your vault. It's like your personal vault. And it's like we don't go there. We don't go there. We don't go there. Venus, beloved. This is about opening up to the potential, allowing, giving yourself permission to believe that this is possible to experience. Some of you it would be again, some of you it would be for the first time, but allowing your heart to be open. It's not easy. It's not easy, especially if any of you are working through trauma or even just the sadness and grief around this like yearning of the heart, right? It's not easy. It is not easy, but it's doable and it is worth it. But Venus with beloved coming out, I feel like just confirms that. The vault. For some people in this group, the vault is actually about, this feels like more about the group where they were touched by this feeling or experience. Even the word vault makes me feel like your heart is closed, right? For those who have been touched by this experience, some of you who have been touched by this, the person is still physically here. I would say a lot of you, it's like there was a divorce or like someone actually passed and transitioned. But I feel like there's another group of you where you had this experience with a person, but it didn't work out or it didn't progress or someone got scared or whatever. Tale as old as time, right? Tale as old as time. And it's the fear of acknowledging what that person means to you still, or even meant to you then. No matter which way you cut it, whether you've never experienced that or you have in it, you don't have it in your present. This is about being open. This is just allowing yourself to be open to the possibility. Be open to people. Be open to connecting to people, because those who are in this group, it feels like your heart is definitely like tucked away. Like no touchy. Like not allowed to touch my heart. No, thank you. But that doesn't. Hold on a second. But that affects all relationships, including friendships. And also a Venus being out here, it also affects your ability to like fully enjoy fun and play and creativity and your own sensual energy. When we shut down our heart, we shut down our connection to self. We shut down our connection to all those things that make life full of life and excitement, right? This is about being open. Can I get one more card? Oh my God, look what's on the bottom. Mars, Venus, even just with the imagery of all of this stuff. Can I get one more card, please, for group 3? Yeah, I feel like I gotta like coax you out. Like that's how it's feeling. Like I gotta like, come here, come on, It's okay. Like, I feel like I gotta coax you out of a dark place right now. I feel like I'm actually just speaking to your heart, is really what it is. I feel like that's what it is. I feel like your heart is in a vault, and I need to figure out how to, like, coax the heart out of the vault. Can I get one more card, please, for group 3? Third household communication. I knew there was a connection between group 1 and group 3. I knew there was. This card came out in group 1. So if you're resonating with this, I would definitely watch group 1. If you're resonating with group 1, hopefully you're watching it now. So anyway, yeah. Allow your heart to touch other people. Allow people to touch your heart. Allow yourself to communicate from the heart. Allow yourself to go there. That may require a little bit of work. That may require a little bit of coaxing. Some of you that could also actually, thank you. Some of you that is the case where there are people, even if it's just like a friend, who are wanting to coax your heart out, coax you out of the vault, just to get you to be open. Okay. Let's go ahead and pull from the animal deck here. Disconnected for a minute, but we're back. Okay. It's really interesting because group 1, it was about like, don't lose yourself, right? In other people and their energy and their distractions, and like stay focused. And this person and this energy is like, go connect. It's very interesting. Any messages or insights for group 3? Watch us get otter or something like that. Or oyster. I bet oyster is going to come out. Oyster is probably really likely to come out. Any messages or insights for group 3? Wow, elephant, break down the barrier. Let the wall crumble, let the vault fly open. That's why elephant is here. Elephant is all about breaking through obstacles. And on the bottom we have frog, emotional clearing and cleansing and purifying and crying and grief and all of that. Can I get one more for elephant? Can I get one more to go alongside elephant? Let someone in. Let someone in. Just one. Just try with one person first. Try with a friend. Let a friend in a little bit. I just heard I'm tired of being disappointed. That's going to happen sometimes. Oh, interesting. Unicorn and elk. That feels a little bit like an exchange between two people. We'll get there in a minute. I get it. Again, tale as old as time. People can only disappoint us though if we have expectations. Some of you may, in group 3, may have really struggled with codependency. That feels very codependency-like. This whole reading feels very codependency-like. No judgment. We've all been there at some point in time. But you can only be really disappointed in people if you place expectations on them. And that's not to say, like, just let anything happen, right? I'm not saying that. Have boundaries, know what your boundaries are, know what your needs and wants are, right? And even know your own boundaries for yourself, right? Know all those things, but let people be them and discover what they're about and talk to them and get to know them. And you know what I mean? It's like that. That's what I'm referring to. But yeah, elephant being out here, let the wall come down. And then we have unicorn and elk. It's very interesting because it looks like someone is literally looking at the back of another person. It's totally what this feels like. Unicorn is third eye energy. Lots of third eye energy floating around here too. Unicorn is third eye energy. It is believing that the impossible is possible. This whole reading for group 3 is allow yourself to restore your faith. Restore your faith in heart-based connections. Restore your faith in even romance, but it's really more just restore your faith in allowing your heart to be open and connecting with people from heart to heart. Just allow yourself to have that belief. There's a very deeply rooted belief here that it's not possible and you need to make the impossible possible. But it's all by doing that within yourself, right? Unicorn is also a unique energy. right? Allowing yourself to uniquely shine. And then we have elk. I really like elk being here. I do feel like some of you in group 3, it's an opportunity is happening here to allow someone to get close to you. And again, it doesn't even have to be a whole full-blown enchilada situation, right? Baby steps are important here. But elk is divine masculine principle. Elk is a very safe energy. Elk is the ultimate provider, protector, very like King of Pentacles, Emperor, reliable, consistent, trustworthy, like I can hold it down for anybody. That is Elk energy. So if any of you are resonating in group 3 and you really struggle to let your heart stay open with people or even allow people to be close to you or to learn about you at all, this is a very safe energy to let come close, right? Of course, use your discernment, right? This is a collective reading. Use your discernment here. But something that will help with this is also learning how to be the elk even for yourself. How to feel really safe within yourself to even let your heart open in the first place. That's part of the challenge, I think, for you, group 3, is the wall that can come down around the vault, so to speak, that is containing your heart. The way to blow it open is to learn to feel this safe within yourself first. And when you do that, then people can come close. But this is about restoring your faith and all of that. Let's go ahead and pull some tarot cards. And then we're going to wrap this up. Yep, I am group 3. It just feels like acceptance, right? I'd say it's a little more than that. Learning to feel really safe within yourself can take some time for people because that's a sense of security, but that's within self. And that sometimes needs to come with a little bit more than just acceptance. Sometimes that also needs to come with like making peace and forgiveness of certain things that have happened to make you not feel safe and restoring trust in yourself. Yeah, but let's keep going. One more shuffle. Okay. All right. Any messages? Ah! I don't like the way the cards been flying out of my hands recently. Like for anybody who reads cards, or even if you don't, over time, like the cards work differently with you as you change and shift. Like they change and shift. And now I'm in this phase with cards where I'm shuffling and a shit ton just like fly out in one direction, and the cards I'm supposed to take come out in another direction. But I don't like the constant cleanup. It's just a lot of energy. But yeah, not surprised with what we have here. Hierophant, 9 of Swords, and the Queen of Cups. Remember I said I feel like you're an 8 of Swords, 9 of Swords. You need to like calm first. Calm and find your safe space. So I feel like I could do a whole video on safe space. I feel like I've spoken about this recently too, just the importance of that in the collective right now. Finding your safe space is internal. It's good to have your little like sacred space in your home. Very important that your home feels good, obviously. But this is your home. This is your first home. Your body is your first home, okay? And feeling really safe in your body, it takes time, and it's a different journey for everybody. Whoever is walking around this world and that sense of safety was taken from them, it can take a while to work back to that, right? But it is an internal process, and it is different for everybody of what your safe space even feels like in your body, where in your body, whether it's a visual thing and it's like you visualize a safe space to put yourself in. It's like it's very different for everyone. So forever's resonating group 3, number 1 priority, safe space. Find your safe space within yourself. You do that. Second step, baby steps to letting people come close to you, okay? But anyway, coming here with Hierophant, 9 of Swords, and Queen of Cups, straight up, I'm getting a strong fear of commitment. straight up a fear of commitment and a fear of, again, letting anyone get close to your heart as a Queen of Cups. That Nine of Swords energy, I already knew you were in an 8 or 9 of Swords. I already knew that. I already felt that. But 9 of Swords is an amplified level from the 8. The 8 is, okay, my own mind is trapping me. My own mind is tricking me, and I'm letting it. But the 9 of Swords takes that to a whole level of anxiety and fear, even like nightmares, trouble sleeping, paranoia. It's like it gets into that realm, but it's fear. At the end of the day, it's fear of letting anyone get close to your heart, see your heart, and also for some of you, there's a fear of commitment as well. Hold on, there's something else going on here with the Hierophant. Well, values and beliefs, thank you. And values and beliefs, values and beliefs. Again, a lot of you, this is a belief that you won't experience this or you won't again, okay? Wherever that fear is coming from, wherever you have that, excuse me, excuse me, beliefs with the Hierophant. Oh, man. You got to break that down. You got to break that down. Can I have a couple more cards for group 3? Some of you are reflecting on an experience, some of you maybe many experiences where you just could not feel safe with another person. Maybe many people, you just could never feel safe. You could just never trust them. Trust is a huge issue here. Trust is a major issue here. You can't trust other people if you can't trust yourself. And I feel like that's what this is coming down to. Whether you want to see that or not. Whether you want to see that or not. Temperance. This is a card of peace. This is a card of tranquility, harmony, forgiveness, all of that stuff. It's also a card of healing. Some of you are getting a little bit of an assist from Spirit here, especially with the Hierophant and Temperance being out here. Yeah, assistance with heart healing. Excuse me. Assistance with heart healing for those who need it. It is here and it is present, but it is also free will choice at the same time to allow for this to take place and to allow yourself to go there. Allow yourself to find safe space, sanctuary. I'm hearing sanctuary within yourself. Excuse me. In order to make the second step in the first place. Can I get one more card, please? Can I get one more? I'm hearing second chances. So for those who have experienced this before, there may be a potential to experience that again, but you have to be open to it. You have to be open to it. It's the only way that you're going to be able to experience it is by receiving it, right? Accountability. Temperance with the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is a card of trust. It is a card of trust and predictability, integrity, accountability. Knight of Pentacles for me is like a right-hand man, like ride or die. Like, I know they get the rap for being the slowest moving knight, but they're also a bit of a gatekeeper and a bit of a guardian. Getting a big guardian energy here with Temperance and the Knight of Pentacles being here, you're safer than you realize. You're way more protected than you realize, even spiritually. Oh, yeah, I feel that. Oh, I feel that. And if some of you are dealing with somebody and you cannot trust them, you can't get close to them, like everything in you is just like terrified to, let them show you, right? At least give them the opportunity to show you that they have integrity and you can trust them and that they're trustworthy. I had this conversation with somebody recently about trust. Trust is interesting. Trust is something that is built over time. But there is, like, in the beginning when you first meet someone, whether they're a friend or whatever, right? It's like in the beginning when you first meet people, there is this innate sense of, like, to trust, honestly, like to to allow the door to be open so you can get to know people, and then people will show you if they deserve to keep that or not, right? But deep trust is built over time. But when we do first meet people, there is this innate sense of just, I'm gonna trust you to be a good human until you show me you're not, right? But I'm gonna trust you to be a good human, and I'm gonna get to know you. And then over time, you know how much you can really trust someone or not trust someone when you get to know them, right? But I am getting that here. Allow people to show you that you can trust them. It is an allowance, and it takes a little bit of courage, but that's here. But there's also this encouragement for you to learn to rebuild trust in yourself as well. Okay. Very interesting, group 3. Very interesting. But we are complete for the evening, and that is the reading for the week. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really enjoyed doing these readings with you guys. Something about it felt very words. Words. My words were with me the whole time, and now I'm like, my words are gone. I said, okay, we're complete, and now my words are gone. It just felt good. It just felt really good. So I was happy to sit with you guys tonight, and I hope you guys really enjoyed them, and I hope that they were very supportive for you guys. And I will see you guys very soon. I did do, what signs did I do? No, I don't remember. Oh, no, I remember. I did Sag, Libra, and Taurus. And because of the delay with the weekly, I didn't post them. Normally a sign reading would have come out today. It was the crystal for group 3. Initially, I got Moonstone, but then Opal came out, and then Rose Quartz came out. What was I saying? Oh yeah, sign readings. So I am going to post them. I won't lie. I didn't feel great about them. But I'm just going to trust that they were the messages that needed to be heard. So I'm just going to trust. But yeah, I'm just being honest with you guys. I didn't feel super great about them, but I'm just going to trust that they're the messages that need to be. Yeah, but they're going to be coming out tomorrow, just so you guys know. Okay. I resonate with all 3. This feels like a personal reading. Thank you. You're so welcome. I love the groups. Never give up on opening your heart. Heal and open, heal and open. Yes. I have had wicked leg restlessness, but through my whole body. Oh no. At night for last month. That's the worst feeling. That is the worst feeling. That doesn't happen to me often, but when it does, it's just like, oh, I guess I'm not sleeping. So, anyway, I'm going to go, you guys. Thanks again for coming out. Have a great night and a great rest of your week. And I will see some of you Friday. And I don't know, over on Patreon. So yeah, so I'm going to bounce. Bye, guys.